Cal and his sister Becky are on the road leaving home. They are going to San Diego as their parents haven't taken Becky's pregnancy too well. Becky starts having second thoughts when suddenly she feels the urge to vomit. Cal stops the car near a church. As she returns to the car, she swears she can hear a boy scream for help from the tall grass nearby. Cal parks the car near the church so that they may go inside to check. Cal and Becky learn that the boy has been trapped in the tall grass for days. At that exact moment, the boy's yelling is interrupted by the sight of a book by the side of the road, and a woman's voice also coming from the tall grass telling the boy to stop screaming. Since the boy's voice sounded like it was coming from close to the road, Cal stepped into the grass to help, followed by Becky, while trying to call 911. But after getting a little further into the grass, she loses signals and realizes that Cal is gone. Panicking, Becky shouts out Cal's name and asks him to return to the car because something is wrong here. In an effort to get them back together, Becky starts loudly reciting a nursery rhyme, but Cal can't figure out where her voice is coming from. The two then decide to jump to see where they are. On the first jump, they can see each other, but by the second jump, it takes a weird turn, and they see each other very far from each other. Becky slips and falls in the mud, and Cal runs over to her in a panic. Now Cal has fallen in the mud and is terrified to find a dead dog named Freddy that is covered with flies. Cal and Becky search each other for hours, but they can't find either. As the sun sets, they realize they're stuck in the grass field. Becky tries to call her brother again, but she gets so tired that she just sits down and waits for Cal to find her first. Out of nowhere, a scary-looking figure appears in the grass. It turns out to be a man named Ross, who offers to help get her out of the field. He says he's found a way out but hasn't left yet because he's looking for his wife and son, whose voices were heard by Becky earlier on. Becky doesn't trust him, but she has no choice but to accept his help, so they go looking for Cal together. A little more time goes by, and Cal keeps calling out for Becky, but she doesn't answer. As he sits there feeling sad, he is startled by something. It's Tobin, the boy who was earlier calling for help. He tries to comfort Cal by telling him that things are easier to find when they are dead. Cal is scared and asks Tobin if he lured them into the field. Tobin says that he and his family went in because they heard a guy calling for help, and he doesn't know how long they've been here. When Cal asks Tobin how he knows Becky is his sister, Tobin tells him that the rock told him. It seems that the rock teaches you how to hear the grass, which is how you learn about things. Tobin shows Cal how he can get to Becky. On the other side of the grass, Ross and Becky are talking about her baby, and Ross assumes that the baby's father is not with her. While walking, Becky sees medicine and scissors on the ground and wonders how they got there. She looks again and sees that Ross is no longer there too. She starts calling for him, but he doesn't reply, so she begins calling Cal. As she looks around for signs, she is grabbed by something and pulled into the grass. Tobin takes Cal to a small area with no grass and a strange big rock in the middle of it. Tobin tells Cal to touch it, but when Cal gets closer, he hears tribal chants coming from it. Becky screams just before Cal touches it, forcing Cal to run in the direction of Becky's scream. All of a sudden, a truck stops at a gas station on the same road as the church. Travis, Becky's ex-boyfriend, has come to find them both. Travis doesn't find anyone at the gas stop. He finds Becky and Cal's car parked by the church. When he looks inside the car, he sees cobwebs and insects, which indicates that the car has been there for quite some time now. Travis starts to look for them and call their names, but no one answers. He searches the church, but it's also empty. On his way out, he sees a book on the ground and picks it up. When he looks at the title page, he sees Becky's name. Travis looks at the tall grassy field and walks into it, thinking that Becky and Cal are there. He folds the grass and follows the sun to keep track of how to get back. He takes a few steps and looks back. Travis feels strange and notices that the sun is no longer in the right place. Even though he is confused, he keeps moving until it gets dark. He stops to rest and pulls out a picture of Becky. Travis gets startled by something that comes out of nowhere. Travis can hear strange whispers and laughter while moving through the tall grass. It's Tobin. Tobin calls Travis by his name and knows that he's looking for Becky. He says he can take Travis to her. Travis doesn't think twice about going with him. When he finds Becky, she is already dead in the middle of the field. Tobin tells Travis that the grass doesn't move dead things because it makes them easier to find. Travis clings to her and cries. He wakes up the next morning to find Becky's dead body right next to him. He removes a chain from her neck and starts moving again, but then he hears someone and starts calling for help. Tobin answers back, so Travis calls him, hoping that the boy will find him again. This time Tobin shows up looking clean and healthy, and he's with his mom Natalie, his dad Ross, and the dog Freddy. Suddenly, Freddy runs into the field, and Tobin follows him. Travis is certain that the field of grass is stuck in some kind of time loop. Travis then sees that Tobin has managed to get out of the field. He tells him not to go back inside, inside, but it's too late. The boy is already on his way to get his family. Natalie thinks she hears Tobin nearby, so she breaks off from the group to find him. By the time night falls, Ross is looking for his family by himself and comes across the strange rock. Becky and Cal are back outside the field with the car, while Tobin is screaming for help. This time, Travis is stuck in the field. When he hears Becky's voice, he calls her name. Becky and her brother are surprised to hear him. Travis tells them that he came looking for them, which Becky doesn't believe. Then, all of a sudden, they hear Tobin's voice singing Becky's rhyme. Travis follows the sound and finds the boy. When Becky does the same thing, she runs into Travis, which feels a bit awkward. Cal shows up soon after, and it's clear that he doesn't like Travis being there. The group then find Freddy's dead body. Travis tells the siblings that they have been lost for 2 months, but they don't believe him, as they think that it's only been 2 days. Becky gets the feeling that someone is watching them, so she tells Travis that they need to leave. Travis picks up Tobin and puts him on his shoulders so the boy can find a way out. Luckily, he sees a building in the distance, and they start walking in that direction. Cal asks Travis if he told anyone about them, hoping that someone will come looking for them. Unfortunately, Travis didn't tell anyone. Becky's belly starts to hurt, which makes Travis ask about the baby. Becky tells him that the baby is a girl. She then lets him touch her stomach so he can feel the baby move. The phone rings. The group are shocked to hear a voice that sounds just like Becky. She is crying and begging them not to let Cal hurt Travis, because if they do, they will keep making the same mistake. All of this seems crazy, so the group chooses to keep going. They don't know that someone is watching them through the grass. Becky takes a few more steps and slips in the mud. While falling, she has strange vision. She sees strange people coming towards her through the tall grass, and a baby which scares her so much that she passes out. Cal and Travis run towards her, but just then Ross shows up and says he can lead them out. Travis tells him about the building they saw and lifts Tobin again, but this time he can't see the building. All he can see is grass. Ross says, "I don't know why, but that's how it works in here." The group keeps going, and they reach the rock once again. This time, they see carvings all over the rock, and Ross knows that they are about a greater knowledge. He explains this when someone touches one of the carvings. The rock tells how to get out of here. Everyone feels Ross is acting weird. Ross encourages Cal to touch the rock, saying that he will too get to know this knowledge. Before this can happen, Natalie comes out of nowhere and stops him, telling her husband to stay away from them. She is clearly scared of him and tells the others that Ross is lying. She then tells them that she has seen Becky and Ross before, but Becky was dead and Ross tried to hurt his own wife. Ross says this isn't true, and while they fight, Becky sees the visions again, but this time she also sees Ross in the grass looking very supernatural. Becky tells Travis and Cal that they need to leave because she is scared. They try to get Natalie and Tobin to come with them, but Ross is still trying to get them to touch the rock. Travis slashes it, which sparks an argument that quickly turns into a fight. Becky asks Cal to help Travis while the guys fight, but Cal says no. The fight is really heating up, but Ross continues telling Travis that he needs to touch the rock, and he finally beats him down. Ross then grabs Natalie and cracks her head with his bare hands. This proves he's really gone mad. The others run from Ross. They see Freddy and start to follow him until they reach an empty building. As soon as they get inside, Travis and Cal start blaming one another. Cal thinks Travis left Becky because he wanted Becky to have an abortion. In response, Travis says Cal has dirty thoughts about his sister, which makes Cal throw a punch and start to fight. Soon enough, Ross catches up and tries to break through the door. The group quickly climbs the stairs and head to the roof. They look around across the field. They can see a church. They would have been too late. They can't get there by going through the grass, so they try to think of something else. Travis sees Freddy running by, but when he steps into the grass, the dog vanishes. This makes him think that there is a way out. Through a portal, Travis stands on the edge of the roof to get a better look. Maybe he could find more clues, but he slips and falls. Cal sees him fall of the roof but completely ignores it. Tobin witnesses everything and Cal sees this. He tries to explain himself. Ross can be heard getting closer. The group panics. Becky asks Cal about Travis, but when Cal doesn't answer Becky's question, she thinks he did something to Travis and walks on without him. Cal tries to follow her, but Ross stops him and says he knows the truth about what happened with Travis. Cal tries to get away, but Ross won't let him go. Instead, he holds him down as Cal fights for his life. At once, numerous bodies start to show up in the grass. Travis is still alive. He goes looking for Becky again, calling out her name. She answers to Travis, indicating that she's near him, but they are unable to see each other. They give up and sit down. They start to talk about their child again. Travis says he's glad Becky chose to keep the baby, but Becky says she wasn't going to keep the baby, and that's why they were going to San Diego. A family there wanted the child. This saddens Travis, and he promises that he will get them out. Ross shows up out of nowhere and charges at Becky. Becky grabs the scissors she found on the ground, but Ross quickly takes them away from her. He tries to sexually assault her by bringing her down to the ground. However, this gives Becky the chance to grab the scissors again and stab Ross in the eye. Becky runs as fast as she can as it starts to rain, but she freaks out when she sees dozens of grass people coming at her from all around. These strange people grab her and drag her into the grass. In the next few moments, Becky is lying in the mud in front of the rock. She takes her phone and makes a call. She hears the same message from before about Cal hurting Travis. Suddenly, the grass people come back and surround Becky as she screams in pain. Her body has chosen to give birth. The visions are seen again, and the birth is the same as the ones drawn on the rock. Becky hears the baby cry. She has finally delivered her baby, but she can't see her. All of a sudden, the ground trembles and a huge hole opens up between her and the rock. Becky looks inside the hole and sees several individuals trying to get out by holding onto the branches of an old tree. Becky screams in fear and soon enough becomes so exhausted that she falls asleep. She closes her eyes, only to reopen them moments later. She asks about the baby. Cal answers, which is a big surprise to her. He calms her down and gives her some water. He also has a baby in his arms and shows it to Becky, which reassures her. She closes her eyes again, and Cal starts to feed her. Becky is so hungry that she doesn't stop eating. The food she is fed tastes different altogether. Cal tells her it's only grass and seeds. She freaks out when she learns Cal is feeding her human flesh, and that Cal is not Cal but in fact Ross. Even though Travis is hurt badly, he keeps looking for Becky. Eventually, he finds her alone on the ground. When Becky asks about the baby, Travis touches her belly and sees the baby is gone. While he is crying out of sadness, Tobin comes back and tells him that Ross killed everyone. He also says that Ross will never stop and that he will keep killing them. Tobin is scared and starts to cry, so Travis hugs him and tells him that no one will hurt them in his presence. Travis then yells at Ross and asks him if he wants to kill him. Ross jumps out of the grass and charges Travis right away, trying to kill him while Tobin tells him to stop. Ross hits Travis with a bone, which knocks him down, and he then goes after his son. Tobin tries to run away, and he tries to force him to touch the rock. Becky stands up, hitting Ross in the back. Ross drops Tobin, and Becky falls again. Right then, Travis gets up and strikes Ross. He hits Ross's head against the rock and kills him by strangling him with grass around his neck. Travis then goes to Becky and cries while holding her. Travis walks to the rock. Tobin tells him not to touch it, as he won't be able to leave. Travis loses focus and touches it anyway, which makes him feel strained. All of a sudden, a red light bursts out of the rock and stretches across the field, like some kind of cleaning is going on. Tobin is scared of Travis, because he looks possessed just like Ross. Travis stops the boy from running away and asks him to come with him. Ross wasn't kidding when he said that the rock gives knowledge to the one that touches it. He walks Tobin to the exit and tells him to go outside and stop Becky and Cal from entering the grass. He hopes that this will break the loop. He gives Tobin Becky's necklace and pushes him out of the field. Tobin shows up in the church's attic. He opens the door and walks outside. When he gets to the road, he sees Becky and Cal's car stopped there. They are about to go into the field because they heard someone asking for help, but Tobin runs up to them and stops them. It looks strange because his own voice is also coming from the grass, and Cal, who is confused, starts to walk toward the grass. Tobin keeps asking Becky to stop him. He then shows her the necklace Travis gave him as proof that he is telling the truth. Becky is shocked when she sees that it looks just like her own necklace. She asks him where he got it from. Tobin says Travis. She is shocked and finally goes to stop her brother. After that, Becky asks Cal to leave, and they decide to take Tobin with them. But Becky tells him not to go to San Diego because she has chosen to keep the baby. After hearing this, Travis becomes happy. He lets out a sigh, lies down in the grass, and the grass takes him inside. And the movie ends. Subscribe to watch more movie recaps like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next plot. Goodbye.